Sunshine. Just kidding. Welcome back to Sunshine Haze Co. Let's get that set up together again. This is going to be the Venus retrograde video. Um, that was a very retrograde move, if I will say so myself. Let's get into it. So Venus is one of two planets. We don't have a retrograde cluster anymore. I believe it was Neptune that stationed direct earlier this month. Was it Neptune? Yeah. So we've only got Uranus and Venus in retrograde right now. So not too much retrograde energy going on. But Venus is an interesting one because we don't get a Venus retrograde every year. Venus is actually the planet that retrogrades the least amount of time. It is in retrograde, I believe, 7% of the time. And I think it retrogrades every 17 months. I might be mixing that up with the 7, but we don't get one every year. So we haven't dealt with this energy for a little over a year, closer to 2 years, I want to say. But it is a personal planet. It's a social planet. So social planet retrogrades tend to affect us on a more conscious level. So these are effects that we will be seeing and that we will be feeling. I'm not prepared today at all. There we go. There's some light. I was like, why does it look like I have bags under my eyes? I don't have bags under my eyes. Now that I'm all here, let's finish. Social planet. So we're going to feel these effects of Venus a little bit more on a conscious level. We'll be seeing these effects, feeling this in our day to day. Okay. Just to very quickly give you guys a little bit of knowledge on what a retrograde is. It is not when a planet spins backwards in the sky. It's an optical illusion. It's actually when a planet stops and stations retrograde, which is when it passes over points that it's already passed over, and then it stations direct, which means it starts to go back in the direction that it was heading in the first place. So we are now in the Venus retrograde period. My lip gloss is popping. I could feel it like going into my mouth. We are now in retrograde period of Venus, and when we hear the word retrograde, people get a little like frazzled. They're like, oh my gosh, everything's going to go crazy. And while it is a social planet and we are going to be feeling these effects on a more conscious level, I do tell people that the energy that we really want to lend to retrogrades is a reflect and correct energy. It's literally stopping, taking a moment to go over what has transpired, the moves that we've made, making corrections where they need to be made, and then moving forward in the best way possible. So that is the type of energy we want to lend to all things Venus. Okay, my stomach is growling. I knew I should have ate before I did this video. But I'm going to get through the video and then I'm going to eat, and then I will finish up with everything else that I have to do for today. Or for tonight. It's nighttime now. But okay, you guys. So Venus, what is Venus all about? Venus is a planet that obviously we all know Venus governs love. Venus also governs money. And because we're talking about money, although Venus is not the career planet, it is money. So it tends to govern the way that we get to our money, the ways that we're passionate about making and creating abundance in our lives. It also governs aesthetic, beauty, and social events, okay? So those are the themes that we're going to be dealing with this Venus retrograde, coupled with Capricorn energy, which is what this planet is in retrograde in currently. It starts on Sunday, the 19th, and this one will be ending next year, which is not that far away. It's just a month away. We'll be ending on January 29th. However, we will be dealing with the Venus retrograde shadow period from November 17th to March 1st. And just to give you guys a little bit of an explanation of what the shadow period actually is. It is when we start to deal with the retrograde energy, but we're not all the way in the thick of it. The shadow period consists of the degrees that the planet is moving over. So I know this planet will leave retrograde in 11 degrees. So when the planet is direct and it hits 11 degrees, that's when we're hitting the shadow period. And Venus hit 11 degrees of Capricorn on November 17th. So we have been in this shadow since November 17th. It starts in 26 degrees. So once Venus is in 26 degrees again of Capricorn, that's when we will be out of the shadow period. And Venus hits 26 degrees again of Capricorn at the end of the retrograde period, after the retrograde period on March 1st. So that is the time that we are dealing with this energy, but it will be mostly prominent from December 19th to January 21st, okay? happening in the sign of Capricorn, which is the goat. Capricorn energy is very diligent, very determined, organized. Capricorns are very business minded. They're all about their business. They're entrepreneurs. I don't know what suffix I wanted to add to that word, but entrepreneur is the word that I was going for. I probably said organized. Capricorn energy is also very no nonsense. Capricorn does not like nonsensical, illogical things. Authoritative, very practical. Capricorn energy is also very put together, very polished. On the shadow side now, Capricorn can be very stubborn, very one-track minded, also very detached. Capricorn can also be a little cold, and I'll talk about the shadow energies a little bit later on in the video, okay? So there are a couple points that I want to hit as far as what we're going to be dealing with on an individual level as a collective with this Venus retrograde energy. And the first point that I have here is, as I just mentioned, this no nonsense. And so what is coming with that? Again, remember, we're reflecting and correcting. So we're taking the time to, I'm like, why do I look so little? It's because I was slouched in my chair. We're taking the time to stop and look at where we just got too much going on, or where we just have extra stuff that doesn't need to be there. What is, what's serving us and what's not? What is creating, chaos? What is, creating obstacles that we don't necessarily need in our lives? And so as we're in this retrograde period, we are going to be looking at these things. And they're more than likely going to be in the areas where Venus is concerned. So as far as love is concerned, what patterns or habits do you have in love that are just like, you don't need that. You don't, just no nonsense. Cut it out. What, partners or people have you been dealing with, or have you been putting your energy into that you no longer need to be dealing with? Cut it out. No nonsense. As far as money and finances go, what type of work have you been doing that's not beneficial to your quality of life and your well-being, and also your pockets? How have you been handling your money that's not working for you, that's causing problems, especially financial stress and strife within your life? Cut it out. No nonsense, okay? As far as like beauty and aesthetic goes, what do you have around? Is there clutter around you? How do you feel about your appearance? How do you feel about your physical health, the way that you're putting yourself out there? These are all things that you're going to need to reflect and correct upon as we move throughout the course of this retrograde period. So it is a retrograde period, so you don't have to necessarily make these changes right away, but it is important that you acknowledge them and start thinking about how you are going to move forward with these things, especially once the planet stations direct. So as far as all those things I mentioned, if there's people or habits that you have in love, or ways that you just blowing your money and spending your money recklessly, if you've been a slouch out here and that's not really you are going to, over the course of this retrograde period, realize, okay, these are the changes that need to be made, and these are the things that I need to stop doing. This is what I need to cut out. This is what I need to get rid of, so that I can have everything that I need and have the space to bring in the other resources that I do not yet have. Because if I hang on to these habits, hang on to these places, these situations, these people that the retrograde is showing me I need to cut out, I'm not going to have the space or the time or the energy to bring in the things that I need to be working with and working on once the planet stations direct. Okay. The next point that I have here is get it together. Okay, Capricorn is, as I mentioned earlier, very diligent, very organized. Capricorn is a I like to plan things type of sign, type of energy. So over the retrograde period, I'm going to be looking at where you need to, and I mentioned cutting things out, no nonsense, but that's what's not serving you. Now we're looking at how are things jumbled, how are things set up, how are things, put into place for you. How did you put things into place for yourself that are not necessarily in any kind of order that will get you into the spaces and the places that you want to be in? So getting organized is another Venus in Capricorn retrograde energy that is coming in, and getting organized in the areas, again, that Venus is touching. So, love, finances, career, your aesthetic, beauty, things of that sort. And also, social gatherings, not so much here, but, really just getting things together, putting them in a way that makes sense to actually progressing towards the points that you want to reach, okay? The next point that I have is a self-love routine. And Capricorn gets thrown by the wayside. The earth signs always do when it comes to, all things emotions, all things lovey-dovey. But because we are dealing with Venus here, and we're also dealing with Capricorn, I mentioned earlier that Capricorn is very well put together. Capricorn is very polished. This retrograde period is going to bring in the notion for you to take a look at how you are treating yourself and how you are presenting yourself to the world. And so, with that being said, like I said, Capricorn is no nonsense. Capricorn is very, very much so polished. Presents themselves very well. So over this period, you are going to be looking at the ways, okay, if you are, as I mentioned earlier, like if you've been out here being a slouch, you're probably going to come into a space to where you're like, you know what, I want to present myself a little bit better to people. I want to make a better impression upon people. How can I do that? What physical changes? And I don't necessarily mean like surgeries and, Botox and the things, but if that's you, live your best life. I don't know what's going to happen when you're in your elderly ages, but do your thing. But I mean, maybe in the way that you dress, maybe in the way that, in the types of clothing or accessories that you bring into your wardrobe. You might be looking at, how can I make this more lavish? How can I make this more presentable? How can I make this more pristine, more clean, more organized, more fresh, more by the book? Remember, we're dealing with Capricorn energy here. Also, as far as the self-love goes, and speaking to routine, because we are dealing with Venus, outside of how you are presenting yourself on a physical aesthetic level, we're also looking at the beauty and the love that you feel within. Okay, so over this retrograde period, and it lines up perfectly because we're at the end of the year. This is the winter season, which is the energy of things dying out, ending cycles, ending chapters, and coming into new spaces, new energies as we start the new year. We are going to be in a space to where we're looking at, how have I been treating myself? Have I been giving myself everything that I need? What do I need in my life to be happy? What do I need in my life to feel fulfilled? What do I need in my life to feel content? And as you move over the retrograde period, because we are dealing with Capricorn energy, you're probably going to be, one, researching new ways and new routines and new rituals to bring in, and also coming up with a way to where you can do them regularly and consistently in a way that will be beneficial to your personal progression and your spiritual ascension. Okay. On the shadow side, just very briefly, I want to speak to shadow Capricorn energy. I have 3 notes here. I've got fear of rejection, isolation, and detachment. Because we are dealing with Capricorn energy and it is retrograde period, it is very possible that in the areas that Venus is touching, you may start to feel like, what if I'm not enough? What if my work is not good enough? What if I don't have all the skills and all the resources that I need? It is important to remember, while that may be true, it's not necessarily all the way true. Anything that you set your mind to, you can do it. This retrograde period is for you to discover what you need to progress forward, to put yourself into those spaces. So if you are in a love situation and you're like, this retrograde hits you and you start feeling like, dang, well, maybe this person doesn't like me. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I can't give them what they need. Pull yourself out of that fear and that mentality of lack and doubt and put yourself in a space of, okay, well, am I everything that they need? And if not, what could I provide for them? Or do I even want to be everything that they need? Remember, reflect and correct, okay? If you're in a situation as far as like work goes, you might be in a space to where you're trying to get towards a certain point, or trying to get a promotion, or you're trying to do something with your business. And up until this point, you may have been feeling like this is going really well. And all of a sudden you might start feeling like, wow, I don't think things are going to play out. I feel like I'm going to pitch this and it's not going to work. Oh my gosh, I feel like I am going to present this and everybody's going to be like, actually, no. Just irrational fear of rejection. Understand that dealing with Capricorn energy, you're going to be doing the work. So there's really no way for you to not come out with some sort of success. It's just all about how you do the work and when you do the work and how consistent you are with it, okay? As far as isolation and detachment goes, just maybe feeling the need to pull away, take a break. You may be feeling overwhelmed with your emotions because this is a retrograde and we're dealing with Capricorn energy. Capricorn is not emotionless, but Capricorn does emote a little bit differently than everybody else. So you may be feeling a little overwhelmed with your feelings and may not necessarily know how to express them, or may not be in a position to where you can feel like you can process them thoroughly. We are also having a full moon and some aspects going on here. So the love energies are swirling around, and they are a little whacked right now. I will say that, with all of the things happening in the cosmos currently. But feeling the need to just pull away, feeling overwhelmed with work, with love, with your finances, with your situations, everything around you, everything Venus, everything Capricorn. It is just important to remember again that this is a retrograde period. So when you start to feel overwhelmed, instead of, detaching or cutting yourself off from the world, take a look at what is triggering you and go, okay, well, this is causing me stress. How can I make this less stressful? Or going back to that first point, no nonsense. Do I even need this? Can I do away with it? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's get into the aspects really quick. We've got a few aspects happening with this retrograde, and this is where we see more of the general Venus retrograde things. Okay, we've got a conjunction to Pluto and also a conjunction to the star Terabellum when this planet goes into retrograde. And when the planet stations direct, we've got a trine to Uranus and a conjunction to the star. And y'all know I'm bad with the pronunciation of these stars. It's either Nunki or Nunki. I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. So to start, we've got this conjunction to Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation and of cycles, okay? And we're dealing with this planet of love and with finances and the way that we get to our finances and with the way that we look at the world and with the way that the world is presented to us. So we're really in a space, and the Pluto and the Venus really more so hits the love area. We're in a space where we are feeling like we want to be loved. We have a need to want to be desired over this next month and a half period, and it's going to be coming in strong. So, whether you're single or in a relationship, if you're in a relationship, you may be feeling like your partner is not giving you everything that you need. If you're single, you may be feeling like, God damn, I'm really lonely. Like, damn, anybody want to come in and love me? With that being said, Pluto is also a planet that deals with karma. So any love stuff happening right now, pay attention to what way it's going or the energies that were surrounding it before you went into retrograde. Because if it's something that was done away with and came back and was done away with for a reason, it might be very retrograde. If it's something that you were exploring up until this point, and then the retrograde and all the energy is thrown out of whack, look at where the energy went off there. Now, if we're talking about career here and transformation, if you're feeling like stuck or stagnant in a space, or feeling like you don't have what it takes, or feeling like the space doesn't have what it takes, it is time for you to reflect and correct and figure out what needs to be transformed. You may need to take some time and go, okay, is this actually what I want to do? Is this actually what I'm passionate about? Is this really making me enough? Am I making enough money doing this? And while I'm making the money, am I being fulfilled with all the things that I'm doing here? Reflecting and correcting. We also have a conjunction to Terabellum, which it comes with a good energy, but this star comes with a little bit of success at a cost. So think of things Venus. You may, in a very Venus retrograde, you might accept a new position because, or accept a new job because it offers you a certain amount of money, the money you were looking for, or more money than you were looking for. But in accepting this job, maybe your time is compromised. Now you don't have time to kick it with your family and your friends. Now you don't have time to devote to, your spiritual practices. Now you don't have the time or the energy to do the things that you enjoy. Now your work is just, your life is just consumed by work. And although you're making the money, you don't have the time to enjoy it. If we're talking about love, you may, try to work something out, or you may try to get yourself into a situation that you feel looks good or feels like should be something good. And while you do that, you may mess up something on another end. You may pick up a person that you don't need to be with that has something that looks really shiny and glittery and like, oh, this looks like it could be promising, while somebody else might actually have everything you're looking for, and this is just a bunch of trash wrapped up in a pretty bow. You know what I'm saying? So things coming at a cost, success, abundance, opportunities coming at some sort of cost that is not necessarily an enjoyable one. The cost that comes with this energy is almost like sacrifice. It's almost like, dang, if I would have known that was going to come with that, would I have done that? So just be mindful of the moves that you're making over this retrograde period, because some of these moves are very retrograde and you actually don't need to be lending your energy into these spaces, okay? Once this planet stations direct, we've got a trine to Uranus, which is, it brings in a more pleasant energy. So the beginning of this retrograde and the pre-shadow of this retrograde is going to be a little rough and tough and dirty for a lot of people, especially if you've got strong aspects to Venus. But as we move towards the end of the retrograde and the planet stations direct and we go into the post-shadow period, the energy is going to feel a lot lighter. And with this Uranus energy, there are new and different energies coming in for us, so completely new opportunities, and also regarding the things that we were reflecting and correcting upon over this retrograde period, new and positive energies surrounding the things that we have decided to keep with us, okay? Let's see. The conjunction to Nunki or Nunki, whatever it is called, is a very philosophical energy there, an energy of truth and authenticity and also consideration. There's also the energy of travel, more so speaking to long distance, really discovery of new surroundings and new energies. So this Venus retrograde is really transforming the ways that we're looking at life with respect to love and finances, our passions, and aesthetic. Once this retrograde is over, a lot of your perspectives regarding the things that I just mentioned are going to be completely different, or the way that you feel or move or act in these things are going to be a lot different than what they looked like before 2021 ends or ended, depending on when you look at this video, okay? All right, let's quickly talk about the numerology. I'm like, I've been talking for a long time. It's only been 20 minutes, but the retrograde videos tend to be a little bit longer than the moon videos. So I'm like, this is a lot. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I am talking a lot. But there's just more points to hit with the retrograde, guys. So it's starting in 26 degrees on a 9-day. So there's the energies of balance, cultivation, of the foundations that we put in place, and also ascension, chapters closing, cycles ending, moving into new spaces. So basically what is happening is we are wrapping up certain cycles, certain perspectives, certain habits in these Venus areas, and preparing ourselves to come into these new chapters in these things regarding our money, our relationships, our love relationships, our intimate relationships, and also our aesthetic, our beauty, our appearance, okay? This is ending on an 11-day. Y'all know I like the number 11, master number energy, enlightenment, very highly spiritual vibration, a lot of positive energy coming in with this, and really understanding the changes that have been made over this retrograde period. Okay, also ending on a 9-day, so a lot of energy of ascension and really doing away with these chapters that need to be closed so that we can be in all of the glory of the new Venus chapter that we're coming into, the new Venus cycle, okay? So the energy of enlightenment again, ascension again, and this is more so speaking to our perspective, really in regards to our heart space, and our money and how we make it. And what else do I have here? I already said it'll look a lot different, so that's really all that I got for those two things. All right, let's wrap this up. Venus retrograde, what is this all about? We're talking about love, money, beauty, aesthetic, social gatherings, things of that sort. A time to reflect and correct, not to be taken out. And trust me, I understand Venus energy is rough and tough and dirty, as I said, and it is going to be a lot rougher at the beginning of the retrograde than it is at the end. So right now, if you're watching at the beginning, yes, you're probably going through it. But this is a period for you to look at the things that you are going through and figure out how to make changes in your life so that you don't have to deal with those energies, okay? Getting organized, cutting out the BS. What else do I got here? Implementing new routines that bring value and improve the quality of your life by way of this Venus retrograde. The people that are going to be the most affected, obviously people with Venus in Capricorn in either 26 or 11 degrees or either side of that within the orb. People with a lot of Capricorn energy, a lot of, what are we in? Capricorn, a lot of cardinal energy, a lot of 26 or 11 degree placements in your chart. And if you are ruled by Venus, or you're like a second house, or what's the other one, 7th house person, if your chart is ruled by the 2nd or the 7th house, this is definitely a retrograde that is going to affect you a little bit more so than others. And also just for everybody, you can look at where you have anything that I just mentioned in your chart and look at where that's placed in the energies that are typically associated with that placement, and couple that with everything that I talked about in the video, and you can get some insight into what's going to be shifting for you with this retrograde period, and also some insight into what you should be paying attention to and reflecting and correcting upon. Okay. um just another reminder, it is a retrograde. Retrogrades can be scary, but do not let it take you out. It's the same thing that I say with like my readings and my my astrology interpretations and my natal chart reports. You use this as a tool. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom. Don't give your power to it. This is an energy that we work with. This is not an energy that works you. Is the best way that I like to put it, okay? All right. That's all I got for you, for y'all. For quick plugs before I wrap this up, because I need some food. My stomach has been talking to me this whole time. It is December, so check out the December tarot forecast. I'm going to put up a reflection spread, and also I will be putting up 2022 readings within the next couple of weeks. In addition to the next COVID reading. I know y'all have been asking for that. I know, y'all, I see the comments is coming. I like to get the regular stuff out of the way before I do that, but that reading is coming for you. I'll link everything in the description box. What else? Gemini full moon. I don't know why I feel like that's the video I'm recording, but it is not. I'm recording that later. The Gemini full moon is actually tomorrow, so check out that video. I'm also going to put up some pick a card shorts for the Gemini full moon energy tomorrow at some point as well, so check that out too. The eclipse series, although this is the moon that's coming up, is not an eclipse. We just had an eclipse moon, a solar eclipse, and it also finished up the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse axis. Excuse me. So that energy we'll be working with for the next 6 months. And excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping, because I'm hungry. I'm sorry, guys. Why am I burping? Because I need food. The eclipses, that eclipse energy is still very prominent right now, so check out the eclipse series, the retrograde series. Even though we just got a couple planets in retrograde, you could watch Venus and watch Uranus, because those are the two current ones. You could also watch Neptune. Neptune just finished, and we're still in the shadow. We're in the post-shadow period of that planet. What else? I'm saying what else, like I don't have this in front of me. I said COVID series. I'm also going to put up Venus retrograde shorts as well for the elements, so fire signs, air signs, all the things, but I'll be reading for Sun and Venus signs, and I'll put those up either later tonight or tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling after I eat. I'll probably have the itis, so probably tomorrow morning. And also, because I did not put up love readings this month, I'm running like a hella big discount on all of the love readings. Do not book through my Etsy shop this month. Y'all know I'm very big on people paying attention and reading. If you book through Etsy, you are paying full price. I'm not refunding you the discount. You need to book through the links that I put in the description box. I have 3 different love readings. They are discounted more than 50% because I did not give you guys free love readings this month. So if you want a love reading, now is the time to get it discounted, because I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't even really be discounting them in February around Valentine's Day. So if you want to sell on the love reading, book you one now. It is through my snip feed. I will link that in a few minutes. If you are just waiting now, you can actually just go to SunshinehazeCo's Instagram and click on the bio link, and they are discounted on that particular page. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this retrograde, drop them down below. I like to come in here like once or twice a week and try to reply to everybody, to the relevant stuff, And what else? If you know anybody that's into astrology, or if you know anybody that is having a rough time with money or in their love life right now, send them this video. They are being taxed by Venus retrograde. That's all that's going on, and they just need to know how to navigate it. Send this to them. And if you are not subscribed, go on and hit that little subscribe button so you can keep up with when I put up new content, typically astrological, things that have to do with divination, also tarot. And because we're coming into a new year, I'm going to be putting up a lot more content spanning a little bit more into different areas of spirituality and of, mental wellness, well-being, and healing, and all of the things. So stay tuned. Sunshine Haze Co. has been rocking and rolling, and I've got a lot of changes coming in that I'm excited to start sharing, and y'all need to be subscribed so you can keep up with it, okay? Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time. Peace.